Hi, this is Rich Tehrani with the TMC Newsroom. I'm here in Richardson, Texas at AppTrigger with CEO Chris Todd. Chris, how are you?
Just great. How are you, Rich?
Fantastic. So we're down here today to talk with Chris a little bit about his company, how he got founded, the state of the market, the economic environment, things of that nature. So Chris, with that, tell me a little bit about how your company got started.
Well, AppTrigger has gone through a number of, I guess, quite an interesting evolution over the last 6 years. Originally founded as Carious Technologies, but the last 2.5 years relaunched as AppTrigger. And when we took the technology, or looked at the technology that the company had developed and innovation that we had, the original kind of premise was based on, at that time, there was a lot of hype around IMS. And the kind of the benefits that IMS would bring to market, and we really looked at what would happen if IMS failed to deliver on a lot of the promises that were being made and so forth. And some of us who've been in this business for a while remember all the way back to the promises made by ISDN and ATM and IP and frame relay, just go on and on, was, you know, we actually staked out a kind of a business thought around what would happen if IMS failed to deliver, and what would people do? What would the carrier service provider customers do? And that kind of led to kind of some of our strategy that we employ today, which is to work with operators and how do they leverage and optimize the investments they've made in the infrastructure that they have that's being a success, that's successful. And so that's really kind of the core premise that we run the business on.
That's great. And so how many years back was that again?
The company was founded in 2001, started shipping product in 2003. So we've been around for quite a while. We're currently, we'll be releasing our Release 10 of our Ignite software this month, so later this month. So we're very pleased that while we're still considered a startup, we're not, we don't have the innovation risk of a lot of the newer companies do, and we've got large Tier 1 deployments at many carriers around the world running very large-scale mission-critical applications that you'd expect for somebody with the maturity of the product that we have.
So in terms of IMS, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Where do you think we are right now in terms of adoption?
Well, I think that we're in kind of a, kind of the, I don't know if we're in the hangover phase of it, but we're in the phase where reality is setting in. A lot of operators have spent a lot of money building out IMS networks or evaluating IMS networks, but they fail to monetize or realize the return on that investment. And where we've heard from a lot of operators in the space that we operate in is how do we help leverage the success that they've had with the applications that are making their money today, the cash cow apps that they have today, and move those to IMS. IMS was, a lot of it was conceived upon the idea of creating new, everything was rip and replace, new applications, new infrastructure, and therefore new service revenue, and that's a very, very difficult promise to deliver upon. And so the kind of the post-hype phase is now they've got an IMS core. How do we monetize that? How do we bring solutions to that? AppTrigger, our whole game plan has been what we call the service extender. How do we take the existing portfolio of services that an operator may have and extend them to any and every subscriber that they may have on any network? Now, interestingly enough, that often involves IMS, because you have a network that doesn't have a lot of services and needs applications and money-making ones. So we go in with the operator, look at their portfolio, help them extend their successful services to the new IMS core without having to replicate it. Because if you're taking an existing service and you're moving it to an IMS network, or you're recreating it just in a new form function, maybe just in IP or something like that, you're not going to necessarily get any additional revenue for it, but you're going to have a lot of CapEx and OpEx to recreate that same service. So we have a different solution. We talk about, let's just take what's working and make it available on the next network. And so far that's resonating very well, especially in this economic climate that we find ourselves in today. People are looking at how do I reutilize what I have, not always just buy net new.